Hold up. Wait a minute.
This is Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Let's take a trip around the curve. Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Film Critic. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. I got a new hairdo, I got new color. It's a whole situation. But welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether it's in real time or after the fact. I'm Carla Renata, the Curvy Film Critic, and what I do here is I talk about movies, I review them, and I talk to some of the people in the movies, the directors, the production designers, people below the line and above the line. And this week I have a full house for y'all because Kiss of the Spider-Woman is in theaters right now, starring Jennifer Lopez and Tonatiuh. I have been struggling with that name all weekend long because I've been doing Q&As for them. But I'll get into that in a minute. We're going to talk a little bit about House of Dynamite, which is in theaters right now and is coming to Netflix on October 24th. And I'm going to talk about A House of Dynamite and a new film of Colin Farrell's called The Ballad of a Small Player. I talked about that earlier in the year when it played at the Telluride Film Festival. And I'm also going to talk about a film called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, starring Rose Byrne. But let's get into the John Candy documentary right now before I get into some of these other interviews. All right, so John Candy, if you guys are not familiar, he was in films like Stripes, he was in Home Alone, he was in a plethora of different projects, but there's a documentary streaming on Prime Video right now called John Candy, I Like Me. It's been playing the film festival circuit very successfully, I might add. It is directed by Colin Hanks, who is the son of Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks did one of his first big jobs with John Candy. So there's a familial connection there, if you will. And what this documentary does is it examines the life and the work and legacy of this really beloved actor and comedian. It features interviews with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Andrea Martin, Eugene Levy, all of these people he worked with at Second City in Toronto. Tom Hanks, of course, is in it. Steve Martin, Mel Brooks, who wrote a part for him in Spaceballs, Martin Short, who worked with him a number of times, and Conan O'Brien. One of the most endearing things about this documentary is that Conan O'Brien talks about how he was a college kid running the Lampoon at his college, and he really, really wanted John Candy to come. He wrote a letter, asked for John Candy to show up, and he did. And he was the one that picked him up from the airport. He never saw him again after that day. He met him that one day, but he talks about how he comes down this escalator with this big camera around his neck, looking very much like one of the characters in one of his films, like Uncle Buck. Everybody loves Uncle Buck, right? I particularly remember him in the Home Alone movie when he plays the King of the Polkas, and he's doing like this in the movie. I love him in that movie so much. But yeah, he is in that film, and the title, John Candy, I Like Me, is exactly that. He fought the stigma of being a Zoftic comedic actor, and people really weren't trying to feel him for that, right? And so he fought against that stereotype, but he stayed true to who he was. And ultimately, he succumbed to, we don't even know if he had a heart attack or what happened, but he died the last day on a set of the last film that he did. He is a beloved actor, and you will be, if you've seen any of these films that I've mentioned, you will love this documentary because you love John Candy. It's literally that simple. Um, House of Dynamite. This film, like I said, is coming to Netflix. It's directed by Catherine Bigelow. It's coming to Netflix on October 24th. It deals with the radars at Fort Greely, Alaska, which detects a nuclear missile. The president, played by Idris Elba, and his entourage must use the limited time they have to try to shoot down a missile before it reaches Chicago, among other cities, right? This is a very complex film. It gave me PTSD straight up. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, what is going on right now? But Catherine Bigelow is the perfect person to direct this because she did The Hurt Locker and she did another film, and it's like a trilogy of these three films all together. Um, and yeah, so I talked to the cast and one of the producers and co-writer Noah Oppenheim about it. So take a look and a listen. I have Anthony Ramos, Jason Clark, Rebecca Ferguson, and Noah Oppenheim talking about A House of Dynamite. Carla Renata, the Curvy Film Critic.
The Curvy Film Critic.
The Curvy Film Critic.
Welcome.
All right, Jason, I see you.
Look, hold up.
He sat up straight. He's like,
I walk out the chair.
That was hilarious.
Talk about low-hanging fruit there, man. You're coming for me now. It's my yours.
We're doing
I can take it. I can take it. I'm Australian.
Clearly
We can take it. Right?
Clearly
Yep.
you can. Clearly you can. But y'all, I want to expound upon something that was discussed earlier today when the editor was talking about doing things. He was talking about you in particular, about how you were bringing things to the screen that weren't necessarily on the page. It was what you were doing in the quiet moments. Yep. And Anthony, you have some of those moments as well. So I want to just talk to y'all about that from an acting point of view, about when you get a script, clearly there are lines there that you have to adhere to, you know, move the story forward. But it's what's said in between the lines. It's what isn't said that's happening on your faces and in your physical being. And I just want to talk to both of you about how you address that for this particular project. I'll start with you, Anthony.
Yeah, originally it was like a in the beginning I was like sitting with like a dog, like a husky outside or something like that. And then at the end I go back out and I'm kind of just like taking in what I know is about to happen, and I'm just kind of sitting with the dog outside at the end of the film. And that all changed when Catherine was just like, no, like, I remember we shot that last moment, and she called cut, and I thought that we were gonna. I was like, "Where's the dog? Is the dog gonna be here?" And she's like, "No, we don't need that. Like, what we just got just now was the realest reaction and performance I think we're gonna get of you know, from in this movie, and like how that guy would react in this situation." And you know, she was just she's so good at that. Like,
and Jason, this is your second time working with Catherine.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have a shorthand as to what you will or will not do when she yells action?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think she has an immense amount of trust in her actors, like really, which gives you a sense of, loyalty that you want to perform and give her what she wants, and then also a sense of freedom that there is no wrong here, or there's no exact right way to do it. And then you're creating an environment, I guess, where with other excellent like-minded actors, that you can have an experience without thinking, I'm going to do this now, I'm going to lean back there, this is the moment I'm going to show you my choices. You can just actually, you've done all your work, the situation's live, and we behave. No one's trying to show up this or give across that. We're just existing, and that for me is like, we're acting. I love it. It's like time travel. We become somebody else, or we're in an alternate universe, and we're playing it out, and we're living these different lives. Just for that little split second.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're somewhere else doing something else, and I'm not me. I'm not Jason or whatever. Anthony. And that's what I love. It. That's the private little thing as an actor. You go, man. Whatever went down, we had, and that's why I think actors can have good relations over years, because it's like, we don't see it all the time, but we had something happen. We had this experience, and that's a great director and a great film, and they don't come along very often.
But it's also great acting. And that's why I brought it up, because both of you are really, really great actors and really great at the subtle.
And listening. I mean, you have
listening,
to listen. You're giving a good interview right now here, because we're having a listen and a conversation. There's no preset agenda. And that's respect as well, which is what this film does. And it gives the audience a lot of respect, the same respect she gives us. Mm-hmm. You are this major, I am this admiral, but make it real. And she demands that it's real.
Yeah.
She does demand that it's real.
Right.
And she will not move on until she believes it.
Well, I believe you.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy that y'all gave me a slice of your time today. It was my pleasure to
Oh,
talk to
Kirby
you.
Critic, we're more than happy to.
Oh, come on. Look,
Y'all
double down
got
again.
I gotta circle back. I can take it, but I can give it. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
also love the specificity of the moment with your colleague where you push him out to go get the phones and then he's gone for a minute, but then he comes back and you guys just exchange that glance and you hold hands.
Yeah, that happened in the moment. We were at Malachi, who is phenomenal, and he is a former soldier. So the people around me, he's an actor, phenomenal, but he was also a highly trained soldier. So he kind of knew the rooms. But I also, some actors, when you sit opposite them, they have a presence. And he had a very calming presence for me. And I felt that I was losing my beep. But there was a moment when I thought, I'm not allowed to cry. And I just looked at him and he put his hand out. Nothing in the script. And I just held it. And it was just that moment.
I loved those moments so much because most of those moments that happen throughout the film with all of the actors, not just yourself, it's the nuances and the subtleness of what isn't said as opposed to what is said.
But it makes it also humane. You know, I was talking to Idris and he was like, you know, the shoe moment? My shoes, he was like, I just made that up because I was like, what would the president be doing? You know, I don't want to be perfect. My shoes a little bit, a bit too tight. Serves no purpose, but it serves every purpose. Because you just come in a little bit closer. You lean in a little bit more.
Well, I've been leaning into you and your work for a minute, and I really appreciate the fact that you gave me time to speak to you today. I'll never forget it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Noah, I found it fascinating that you were able to craft a script that was reliant on what was said in the script as opposed to what wasn't said in the script and the juxtaposition of all of that. So I want to talk about that a little bit. How do you craft a script, leaving actors like Tracy and Anthony and Rebecca and everyone else that's involved the latitude to be able to bring their authenticity to their roles?
Yeah, well, I thank you for noticing that because it's a credit to Tracy and the other actors that, you know, when we put the script together, it was really important to Catherine and I to take people into these rooms and show how a scenario like this would unfold in real life. And we talked to a ton of people who've had these jobs and we said, what are the processes? What are the steps? How would you speak to your colleagues? But then in between those moments of giving an order or asking a question or picking up the phone, that's where the movie really kind of comes to life. And that is what, you know, Tracy and the other actors bring to it. It's the humanity. It's the sense that these are fully inhabited human beings with likes and dislikes. You know, it's Tracy ordering big.
Oh, no, not 12.
However, 8 or 12, I don't know. But that's all him. And that's all, you know, these extraordinary performers.
What do you say to that, Tracy?
It's really the way in for an audience, right? It's the way you put yourself in the shoes of those people making those decisions, as well as a reminder that that's the way this system functions. People are going to make those decisions. This thing has been designed to work the way it's shown in the film. It's by a lot of years and a lot of effort that this machine has been built. Maybe there's a flaw in the concept of the machine because that's the ultimate outcome. It's like, wow, like the guy says in the movie, we did everything right. We did everything we were supposed to do, and this is what we wind up with.
You know what else? Thank you for that. You know what else struck me is that when I was in a press conference and when I watched the movie, the fact that all of these people are putting their lives on the line at the risk of their own immortality to make sure that everybody else is safe. How do you, and knowing that one gut instinct has to be relied on one individual. How do y'all feel about that coming on the other side of this project, knowing everything that you know? Because when you went into it, you being a news person, you knew a lot more than Tracy did, I'm sure, but on the other side of it, coming out of it, how do you feel knowing all of that information? Do you feel like you know too much? Do you wish you didn't know anything at all? Like,
I definitely sleep less well. Anytime the topic of the movie comes up, my kids say, stop talking about it. It's upsetting us. The one reassuring thing that I found, I think Tracy agrees, is that these people who hold these jobs are very serious people.
Yeah.
they take the responsibility very seriously. They practice, they prepare, they're thoughtful about what it is that they do. But I think at the end of the day, the question the movie is asking is, should any human being, no matter how thoughtful, well-prepared, or responsible, be put in a position where they have to make decisions like this?
Because when he says, I need a minute, I'm like, well, how long is that minute going to take? And we see the clock, counting down, and it's like 2 minutes. He's talking about he need a minute. I'm like, no, brother, you can't have a minute. You can't have 2 minutes. You like, we got to do this right now.
Exactly.
But anyway, that is my time. Thank y'all so much for giving me a slice of yours. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Thanks so much.
You guys, this film, the thing about A House of Dynamite that is absolutely riveting is that we're living in a moment right now where that is happening. We are relying upon one person being able to make a decision if someone from another country decides that they're going to strike us with a nuclear missile. There's one person that can make that decision for everybody in the globe, really. And so when you watch it, I get a little PTSD. I've seen the movie a couple of times now, and every time I see it, it feels like my heart is going to leap out of my chest. And it's a very educational film. Catherine Bigelow and the team did their due diligence by making sure that they talked to the right people that were in the Situation Room, that handle that type of thing on a daily basis, that take a situation from DEFCON 4 to DEFCON 1. So if nothing else, watch it if you're a fan of Catherine. Watch it if you just want to be educated on what that process is. But just watch the film. I promise you, you won't be sorry. All right. K-Pop Demon Hunters, y'all, has been a huge hit for the summer for Netflix. And they did a re-release of it, which I'd never seen before. Usually a film comes out, it came out in August. They had a big thing then, but now it was re-released. The young ladies that do the singing roles went on Jimmy Fallon and sang live, sang Golden, and it was fantabulous. This film is directed by Maggie Kang and Chris Applehans, and Netflix was kind enough to allow me to speak to the girls and Maggie and Chris and just talk all about what that film is, what it means. And let me just give you a gist of it. So how it goes down is when K-pop superstars Rumi, Mira, and Zoe aren't selling out stadiums or topping Billboard charts, they're moonlighting as demon hunters to protect their fans from ever-present supernatural dangers. And then I'll let them tell you the rest. Hi, ladies. Hi. I'm going to say it on camera. Your mama raised you right. Okay? I just need for the people to know that your mama raised you right.
Thank you.
Now, I know this is your first big project, voiceover-wise, right? Talk to me about how daunting that was, because, we can do stuff with our faces, but when it comes to our voices, it's a little different to convey that emotion of, humor or drama. I had one girlfriend that when they told her the first time she did a voiceover project, they told her to do something. She was using her face, using her eyebrows, and they were like, no, Diva, that's not going to work.
Use this.
Yes, absolutely. The Voce. So I'll start with you.
Well, it was a whole different process than, I guess, working on my personal projects. You're given a role, you're given a story, lines, notes, and you're really being asked to speak on behalf of this character who already comes with a story and a voice. And so I think really listening and being as close to Zoe, or as, what's the word? Like authentic to Zoe. And just finding that was a process, and it was a gradual process. But shout out to our executive music director, Ian, who was just an amazing coach throughout the entire thing. Just really pulled everything out that was required of us, and just so grateful.
Well, our counter actors, voice actors, Arden, Mia, May, and Chiyoung, they did an amazing job with their acting, and to compensate for that amazing performance, we really worked hard in the singing part, and trying to emote lyrically and sonically how these girls sound like. And that was just a really fun process, like you said, with Ian, of really helping us direct us how to sing them in each scene. It was a lot of fun. And these songs are really hard, but still really fun.
Because I tried to sing them.
And I know, and I wrote it too. I'm just
Listen, girl, you wrote something that can't nobody sing but you. I ain't mad at you. Go ahead, baby. You gonna make sure can't nobody sing that song but you.
No one put her on this planet
Just
Earth.
saying.
I mean, it was fun to be over the top. It really was. Because I think our generation especially, sometimes there's this don't be cringe or like don't try too hard. But I was watching like High School Musical the other day or a few months ago, and I was like, these kids are working. They can sing, they can, and they're just going for it. And I think that energy of just really being bold and unafraid of trying too hard on these songs was really liberating personally for me.
We tried.
Yeah.
We tried.
Oh no,
You
y'all did.
tried.
Y'all did more than try. You did.
You did.
You did. You did that.
Period.
Now, because this is an anime project, and I am a huge fan of anime. I love this is way before y'all time, but there was a Speed Racer anime that was my jam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so what's your favorite anime, real quick?
Attack on Titan.
Oh, me too.
Or Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
Mine's Kenshin. Ryu's Kenshin.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a huge Sailor Moon fan. Also, anything Ghibli, Studio Ghibli.
Oh, yes.
Is my
Howl's
jam.
Moving Castle.
I love Studio Ghibli
Yeah.
too. That's my jam. Well, that was too short. That was my time. I know that was too
This
short.
was lovely.
But we'll talk again because you'll be doing many more projects moving forward. I see it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I do voiceovers as well, and as a voice actor, I know for directors, it's a little different than directing people that are on camera. What is your method of directing these young ladies? Because I understand this is probably their first big project.
One thing we do is we show them the storyboards of the sequence, and that'll have temp, like Maggie did a lot of the temp voices of the girls to get the comedy and the personality in there. So they kind of have like a little bit of a sense of what the scene will look like, just drawings.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing that maybe was the most unique to this project was like getting them to unleash their inner weirdo. Like I remember with Mei Hong, we're like, okay, we want you to say this line, but with your mouth full in a disgusting way. And she's like, really? And
That's why I asked you, because it's different. Than on camera, you can see that.
Yes.
And so I literally, if you were to cut like 2 hours later, she has like a whole basket of strawberries that she's eating while she's talking. Like she just went for it.
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, yes, yes. And I think that was really fun to watch all of those girls like get out of feel like they have permission to be so weird.
But then you're also alone. You're not, you're the first thing May said was, she was like, did you cast the other girls? And we're like, yes. She's like, where are they? And we're like, oh, well, this is how we do it in animation normally. And so to get them to be more comfortable and bring out their inner weirdo out, we are weirdos to them. And so I think that helped a lot. We do line reads with them and play the other characters like as we read through the script. So they get really comfortable with us, and we make each other laugh, and some of it is improv, and that goes into the movie. And
I love how you said you embrace them to tap into their inner weirdo.
Yeah.
I love that. I've never heard that. I will be stealing that moving forward, so please don't hate me when you hear me say it moving forward. Yeah. I also want to know, I know you probably pitched a zillion people on this project, and I know that Netflix has a very positive track record when it comes to Asian content. What was the pitch that made them say yes?
It was actually not that kind of experience for me. It was pitched to a producer who we're both friends with, and he produced Wish Dragon. His name was Aaron Warner, and he was like, do you have a project that's, I'm looking for something that's more international focused? And I was like, no, yes, I do, even though I didn't. And after I said that to him, I just came up with this concept really quickly, like with the help of my husband, who's also a director and writer, and came up with this concept, and then literally the next day we pitched it to him over a brunch. He brought his dog, and we had our kid in a car seat, and he was like, let's go, I love it, let's do it. And so it was, and it sounds really easy, but it was.
No, I know it was hard.
Like 13 years of building a relationship with this producer, working with him, and building that trust, and so it was. There was a lot of work that led to that pitch, of course. But yes, I think Netflix, being a studio that already knew that Korean content and Asian content was so popular, they were looking for a project like this. So it was actually, didn't take a lot of convincing.
I love that. Really quickly, since I'm running out of time, I want to know your thoughts about this whole AI actor being represented by agent thing. Because I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, I think especially in animation where the I can't even summarize in less than 10 minutes the number of really talented people who have different specializations, from designing the characters to modeling them in 3D to rigging them like virtual puppets, just so that the animators can move them around, so that someone can light them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's such an incredible group of people. All of them takes at least a decade or two to get good at that. And the sum of it is this movie that you watch. And I think we need to protect that because there's a real soul to that process and those people. And I think it's important that it stay with people in a big way.
And animation isn't about mimicking real life. It's taking that but exaggerating it in the right ways, and that takes a lot of artistry. And only what people with life experience can give us. So, yeah, it's an art form.
You have mastered the art form with this, and I loved it so very much. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, you guys, Kpop Demon Hunters is streaming on Netflix right now. Check it out. Last but not least, Kiss of the Spider. Well, let me talk about a couple other things first. There's another film called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. It stars Rose Byrne, and it is a lot like a lot of these movies this year. It is super, super depressing, but she is a woman whose life is crashing down around her. She tries to navigate, she plays Linda, and Linda's trying to navigate her daughter's mysterious illness, her absent husband, a missing person, and an increasingly hostile relationship with her therapist, who ironically is played by Conan O'Brien. This film is a one-woman showcase, hands down, for Rose Byrne. She's so incredibly excellent in it. What she has to navigate emotionally is bananas. A$AP Rocky has a very pivotal small role in the film, so you don't want to miss him. But if you see this film, you have to go see it. And it's in theaters right now. It's called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. It's through A24. Rose Byrne is absolutely crushing it, as is Mary Braustein, who wrote the script and directed the project. And it's one of those projects, like I always say, I feel like only a woman could bring this to life. I also want to make sure that you guys check out this film that I talked about during the summer at Telluride. It's called The Ballad of a Small Player. It stars Colin Farrell. It's directed by Edward Berger, who won the Oscar earlier this year for Conclave. And it is when this character that Colin is playing, when his past and his debts start to catch up with him, he's a high stakes gambler and he's laying low in Macau and encounters a kindred spirit who might just hold the key to his salvation. It is a crazy, bonkers kind of a movie, but I really loved it. I'll be doing a conversation with Colin in a couple of days about it. I'm so excited to talk to him and Edward Berger about this film because I loved it so incredibly much. All right, Kiss of the Spider-Woman. It stars Jennifer Lopez. There she is right there as the Spider-Woman. This is a film that has had a variety of different iterations. It was a book first, a novel by Manuel Puig, and that was adapted into a film in the 1980s by the same title that starred William Hurt, Sonia Braga, and Raul Julia. William Hurt won the Oscar for playing Molina. Then it was adapted again for the stage. Terrence McNally wrote the screenplay, and I believe he directed it as well. And John Kander, Fred Ebb did the music. It starred Chita Rivera, Brent Carver, and everybody in the musical production won a Tony for their roles, including Miss Cheetah. So now it has been reimagined yet again for the screen, and it is now a combination of the musical and the movie versions. It stars Jennifer Lopez, Diego Luna, and this incredibly gifted man, Tonatiuh. I finally got it right, my brother, Tonatiuh, who plays the role of Molina. I'm telling you right now, this brother right here is going to win the Oscar. This is Jennifer with Diego Luna. They are freaking crushing it. I had the opportunity to speak to Tonatiuh and Bill Condon about the film, and this is what they had to say. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Carla. I love your setting. It's like an old Hollywood musical.
Yes. Oh, look at you picking up on the vibes.
Absolutely. Love it.
I love you. I am so excited about this movie musical catalog that you've created, going all the way back to Chicago and especially Dreamgirls, because that's one of my favorites. But I want to talk to you about, movies have always been an escape, especially during the atrocities of war all over the world, right? And it makes it more than entertainment. It makes it more like a dream language, so to
Yes,
speak.
that's right.
So I was wondering what your dream language was in creating this movie musical landscape, which is drastically different from the majority of your catalog.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think because it was my dream world when I was young, I grew up at the tail end of the big roadshow musical. I was really young when I saw The Sound of Music, and then they reissued West Side Story, and then there were movies like Sweet Charity and Funny Girl and Oliver, and they were, for a young child, I think we all, at that impressionable age, there are things that get imprinted that you always try to reconnect to, and that I think is what musical movies have been for me. I felt as if we'd been cheated of that experience because they went out of fashion, One of the secret things that I was doing when I was making Beauty and the Beast was trying to literally recapture that experience for an audience. I remember there was a month when it played at the El Capitan Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, which is an old movie palace, and the lights went down, and there was a light show, and they played the overture, and there were programs, and there was a whole display downstairs, and it was like, yeah, there it is. There are people coming, and it was families, and it was date night, and they were all having that experience. I wish we got more of it.
I can tell you're a writer because the way that you described that was so incredibly descriptive. I can just see, I know where the El Capitan is because I live in LA.
Right.
But I could just, for somebody that doesn't live here, they could totally envision what that was. I want to talk a little bit about taking it from the iteration of Manuel Puig's book.
Yes.
And using some elements from the original screenplay and the stage musical to create this.
Yes. It was all about the book, honestly. Obviously there's this great score from the stage show that I didn't get to use all of it because of wanting to, not having singing prisoners and things like that. But I thought the book is a true love story, and I thought that hadn't been captured as strongly as it exists in the novel, and that to me was like, and obviously issues of, gender fluidity, things like that existed. There it is on the page in 1976, but it feels like the world has caught up to that now. And sadly, it still, specifically now in our world, trans people are, being demonized, and for political reasons. And that is something that doesn't seem to ever change.
No, it doesn't. And we're hoping that, we come on the other side of this sometime soon.
Yes.
Bill, that's my time. I could literally talk to you about this project for 5,000 years, but I'm so grateful that I had the little bit of time to chat with you that I did. Thank you so much for giving me that opportunity.
Well, what a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thanks.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on,
You
Room.
are hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
You said, come on, Room.
Come on, Room. I see you,
Hilarious.
Pink.
You know what? We're going to get along just fine.
I believe we will.
You are hilarious. You know what? I was at the Directors Guild when you introduced the film for the screening there.
Were you?
I was. And I walked away from that thinking you are a star.
Oh, thank you, my love.
Like straight up. Like I've been telling everybody about it. But let me stop eating up my time giving I feel like fantasies of a queer character are in most films are cinematic portrayals that usually show queer characters not being taken seriously, either being the joke or being made fun of or being the clown or being the butt of the joke, right?
Sure, of course.
So there's a line where Diego Luna says to you as his character, when you start making fun of yourself, being that person that we're used to seeing in films when it comes to a queer character, he basically tells you need to respect yourself.
Right.
How much respect have you earned for yourself after inhabiting this role?
Whoa. Well, hello.
You're like, let's start out the morning good.
Yeah, let's see. We gotta start right out the gate. No, that's a very powerful question. I have to say, I understand the temptation that when you're conditioned in the life of being the butt of the joke, to continue on that training and teach the world that that is who you are. But it was I really wanted the opportunity with a story like this to center the dignity of someone like Molina and to show that even though Molina felt like a loser in their own story at the beginning, by falling in love, they were capable of becoming not just the hero of it, but doing unspeakable heroic acts. But for me personally, I mean, it's funny. I think like me, like lowercase Tonatiuh, I don't mind like constantly like picking at myself a little bit because that conditioning is there. But when it comes to representing somebody else or standing up for a different community, I'm like, put some respect on that name, you know? And so I think with this project, it has been one of those things where I'm like, no, I did that and I did it for my people. Like, I'm going to hold my head up high because how can, in a world where we're constantly told to humble ourselves and to put our head low, how can if I have a kid, how am I going to tell them to do the same thing? No.
Exactly. I also was very impressed with how layered your character was. You had so many layers. And I feel like in creating this type of character, you had to create a dream language in order to bring Molina to life. What was your dream language in order to do that?
Well, thank you for noticing that. And I wanted to find the home for Molina in their love for their mother. The loneliness of not being seen in a society and not being accepted. The nerve of still peacocking despite being told to quiet down. And then also like that shyness and insecurity. But at the same time with Kendall, he's a tortured soul like Montgomery Clift in that time period, who didn't get an opportunity to be out. And so those are like the worlds that I wanted to bring to life. But besides that, the script was so powerful that I just had to be present. It was just a matter of like letting go and staying in the moment and building something with Diego and Jennifer.
I love that. And in closing, I just want to tell you, I've seen Cheetah do this on Broadway.
You did?
Saw Vanessa do it on Broadway, and I saw the film. And I just need to tell you to your face, you did that.
Oh, she ate?
She ate.
Oh, come
you
on.
Did that. You did that.
Thank you, sis.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for giving me a slice of your time. I appreciate
you. Yes, of course.
All right, guys. Again, that is Kiss of the Spiderwoman. It is their opening weekend. You do not want to miss it. To reiterate, go see John Candy, I Like Me. It is streaming on Prime Video right now. Check out Tonatiuh in Kiss of the Spiderwoman alongside the beautiful Jennifer Lopez. It is in theaters right now. It is their opening weekend. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, starring Rose Byrne, is also in theaters this weekend. Also in theaters is the film A House of Dynamite. I don't know why this picture's not coming up. There we go. A House of Dynamite with my boy Idris Elba, Jessica Ferguson, Jason Clarke, Anthony Ramos, and a plethora of other people. And you want to check out Ballad of a Small Player, which will be in theaters and is also going to be coming to the Netflix. In addition, I always talk about what I did the week before. I went by the Screen Actors Guild to say hello to Fox and Rob Rich. They are the filmmakers behind Time, the Oscar-nominated documentary that we saw during the pandemic. Now they've got Time 2, and they are trying to get eyes on that. So make sure you check out Time 2. I also did a Q&A with the stars of Christie, including Sydney Sweeney. That's a picture from the Pacific Design Center where we did that. And these are from the Q&As that I did with Tonatiuh, with my hair looking like I just stuck it in a socket. I don't even know what's happening with that right now. But anywho, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to run and go meet my friends and have some fun. But thank you so much. Check out those films when I come back next week. We're going to be talking about A Little Hedda, starring the fantabulous Tessa Thompson. All right. That is it for me this time. Love, peace, and hair grease deuces. And I'll see you next week, baby.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I
wish you love, peace, and hair grease.
Love,